Thank you, gentlemen. And, you know, I really did think that Reinforce was going to pick Rogue.
He set it up,
that way. It's kind of nuts when you think about it, right? Like, I mean, this is Rogue we're talking about here. One of the squads that went on a massive win streak, considered to be the best in NA at one point, and they're picking FaZe against Rogue.
And just like I know we've talked about, Rogue, everyone's like, oh, they've been so down. They're still 2-2. They win this, I mean, they jump right back into the playoff hunt. I mean, that would knock FaZe down to 3-2. They'd be tied with Rogue at this point. Then you're looking at like a 5-team race pretty much. Envy sitting at the top and Vision right there with them. Then you're looking at 2 teams between Kangarna, Rogue, and FaZe Clan that make it to playoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line here for Rogue as we get ready. And the first map will be Nepal as we get ready for the action. And I do want to make a note here that FaZe, when they played against Immortals, they did lose to them 2-1 on Nepal. So big opportunity for Rogue. Rogue, it's interesting to hear the devs say also that they felt like Rogue is a really good team in Control, but they really struggled to get wins on Control this season, like victories on Control. Whereas like, FaZe, it's kind of been just hit or miss. So interesting, outlook on the desk here. But Matt, I mean, so much on the line for this game. It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, I think it's really going to come down to, like the guys said on the desk, how Rogue can protect their backline here at the start. So you see Nico, he's not going to be running that D.Va. It'll be AKM on the D.Va. Nico will be running the Genji, and they'll be having Unko not run the Zen or the Ana. He'll be running Sombra here at the beginning. Now, obviously, you can farm the health packs, you get the EMPs. It also gives them a little bit more damage. Yeah,
it's a pseudo support there. The health packs can give you a bit more of a boost, but still, though, a bulk of the work is going to be on Wins. And if there is one Lucio up to the task, I mean, it certainly is Wins. He is a great Lucio, despite him having some issues in the past here. But so far, though, it's going to be an even trade on both sides. They end up losing two supports, but for Rogue, that is going to hurt even more because he's solo supporting on this. Unko really close to being able to pick up that EMP, but I just don't see an opportunity for him to use it. He actually is just going to go with it, drop the EMP. Now they're going to go ahead, take out Fact Fiction, and Rogue, they're able to win this fight out here if they can get these kills.
Yeah, you had Wins coming back off spawn. You use the EMP, you get back onto the point. Rogue doing a nice job farming the health packs that Unko is hacking here on the Sombra. AKM will get demacked, but Rogue still holding on the point. Shadowburn out of the equation. Nico takes out Carpe. It'll be Rogue taking the first engagement here, able to get the point.
When you see a composition like this and you see the Lucio, go down so quickly, one has to be a little concerned, right? Because you're losing out on the only person that's like designated into that support role. But Rogue able to just fight right back and win this point out. Now it's time to see how FaZe are going to respond here. As they open up with a kill again, and that's going to be very similar to what we saw last time, as both supports go down early here. And there goes a hack onto Carpe. Carpe can't really, do much with this one. AKM's going to get demeched now, and FaZe just continuing to dance around this point. Seems like they're in a good position to be able to make the flip happen. Wins back into the action. Can he keep his team alive in this? They're trying to accrue as much percentage as they can before FaZe makes that flip happen.
Rogue has done a nice job stalling this out. Knocks on the point, gets his primal rage, so he's going to make this go a little bit longer. You have Unko coming off the spawn. Has his has the EMP. He was putting down translocator there. He's trying to maybe get back towards the point. Yeah. But he's going to try and fall back with the rest of his team. Wins gets taken out. So now Rogue going into the next fight, you'll have Sound Barrier, you'll have EMP. The side of FaZe Clan, you have both support ults. So I think this will be a battle between Unko and Joe Meister. Joe Meister does not want to use that Sound Barrier until he sees the EMP come out.
Yeah, when the EMP is dropped, all those shields that Joe Meister provides for his team say bye-bye. And that would have to force Rockets to use it. So if Rogue want to get aggressive on here, I mean, they're just going to have to wait it out. Do they use it? Not yet, perhaps. Sound Barrier has come out, though, for Rogue as they're looking to engage here. And now the Sound Barrier is out. Unko, he is going to use that EMP, but not in the time there that would have eliminated the shields in that exchange. And FaZe, they do have the man advantage. They do have the numbers. They clear them out, and now they're going to pass Rogue here on percentage.
Well, the thing for Rogue there is they decide to engage with the EMP plus the Sound Barrier. So all you have to do for FaZe Clan is just stay alive long enough. Joe Meister then uses their own Sound Barrier. You have Shadowburn use a Blade. You're able to win that fight if you're FaZe Clan. And as a bonus, you hold on to your Transcendence as well.
which is going to come in handy in this next fight. Let's see how Raucus is going to opt to use this one. Unko is going to have an EMP yet again. Could we see them engage with this? Here he goes. He's going to dive right in and boom, pops the EMP now. Now the question is, where's the follow-up? Are they going to be able to get the kills as they manage to find the 2 supports into the back line? Joemeister and Raucus will fall in this fight. Nox with the jump pack, just trying to push people away. There goes the Primal Rage, force people away from that one. But hey, that Diva Bomb though, you know, just gets everyone out of there. And they're really close to being able to make this one 99% here, X. And despite their best efforts, Rogue cannot seem to make any progress and get on to the point to make the flip happen. And now they're starting to do so as they pick up a couple kills. 99% though. This is the area that I'm sure Rogue just did not want to be in here. They are going to make the flip happen though.
You will see FaZe though, they back out. They're going to give the point over towards Rogue. You know Wins is going to have Sound Barrier if you are FaZe Clan. You're going to have your Transcendent still, and you have your Dragon Blade. Nico's held on to the Dragon Blade for an extended period of time as well for Rogue. So I think it's how FaZe Clan decides to initiate here. To use that Dragon Blade, maybe get the Sound Barrier out as they actually take out Unko at the beginning, so you know they can't negate any of your ults there. As you see, it's going to be Wins dropping the Sound Barrier here. It'll be FaZe Clan though. They use the Transcendence to stay alive through it. Now it's going to be Shadowburn's Dragon Blade.
Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade. Cuts through Wins. Looks for another one. Yeah, it's going to be Nox. Give him 2 there. Maybe a 3rd as well with the Shurikens. They make the flip happen. And now it's just going to be up to Unko and AKM to try and stay alive. Soon hanging out there on the side as well. AKM will be deleted off the point soon. Not long for this world, potentially, but here comes the re-engagement. Wins trying to keep everyone in this. There goes the EMP, but it will not catch Joemeister, so he can use the beat freely to keep his team in this fight and gets a considerable amount of his teammates into the beat, giving them the shields, giving them the kills now. And FaZe, they win it out.
Such a smart play by Joemeister. He knows players are just kind of trickling in for Rogue. Doesn't have to be exactly on the point there for FaZe Clan. He actually backs out and goes like on that right side staircase, waiting for Unko to come in with the EMP. As soon as the EMP goes off, just speeds right up to the top, drops the Sound Barrier, gives FaZe Clan that first point win.
Joemeister, another one of those Lucios that you can always rely on. Very smart player when it comes to the game. I had a great conversation with him actually, I believe in Poland. He's a really, really smart guy and you know, just a great support player here for FaZe.
Now you see Rogue switch things up, a lot like what we saw from them when they were successful last week. It'll be Nico on the Diva, be AKM on the 76. We'll see if AKM can provide, a little bit more support to his supports, try and stay a little bit back on the Soldier, keep some of the pressure off of Unko and Wins.
Yeah, they're going to need to protect their backline as much as they possibly can. Fact Fiction, it's going to be in a world of hurt. And AKM, you talked about it last week, actually said how good AKM is as a 76. And, you saw it getting that first pick. That's going to lead to a couple more kills here on the side of Rogue as Carpe and the crew have to drop back. And this is just not a fight here that they can win. They just push right through. And Rogue will get point A here in Village, drawing that first blood, building that percentage.
So it was a little weird at that first point to see Rogue, go back to what didn't work with AKM on the Diva and Nico on the Genji. Right, that was kind of what led to their week 1 loss. They really haven't had a ton of success on it. When AKM has been the 76 and Nico the Diva,
so good.
They have made very good progress as a team. See Fact Fiction jumping out on top, trying to get AKM down from the high ground.
And the reason why, he will have that tack visor, and he will be a real thorn on the side of FaZe. He hasn't, for FaZe. He hasn't used it yet, though. He's still waiting this one out. And there you go. He's going to pop it, but he dies, so he will not use it in time. Shadowburn digs right through the supports, while Fact Fiction will take care of AKM, and FaZe make this flip happen.
Yeah, it was FaZe. They go right down to the point. They force Rogue off of the high ground. Soon dropped at the beginning. AKM trying to use that tack visor there. They had Fact Fiction right in his face. He had Shadowburn there as well. It was not really going to get a great use out of it. So now we see Rogue, though. They come back into this next fight as I know Wins uses his Sound Barrier there, so you don't have one of those support ults. FaZe Clan, you have the Sound Barrier. You're going to have your Dragon Blade as well. This is a fight that FaZe Clan should most certainly win coming up next.
They have the upper hand. Let's see if they play that to their advantage. As they go in for the dive, and here comes Rogue, though. The beat has been dropped. FaZe looking to keep themselves sustained in this fight, and there you have it. The kills coming through. 3 down for Rogue. And you had mentioned it before. They had the advantage X. They played it. And they were able now to pass 40% here, pass Rogue.
Yeah, but because they drop wins at the beginning, they don't have to use the Dragon Blade as well. So you just use the Sound Barrier. Now Rock is going to get closer towards a Transcendence. For Rogue, you'll have a Transcendence of your own. AKM getting close, having another Attack Visor. You know, both Sound Barriers out of the equation here. Shadowburn, though, with the Blade could make a big impact. If you can get potentially Unco to use that. Oh, he falls. I was going to say, if you can get Unco to use the Transcendence, then you can use the Blade. You don't even need that to happen because you drop him right at the beginning. It is a lot like what the devs talked about, the supports dropping early here from Rogue on the last 2 pushes. It's really hurt them.
Yeah, just losing out on the support so early in the fight. That is painful to watch. It has happened to Rogue so many times here, and you know, I understand what the devs were saying as well, right? I mean, you have Carpe and Shadowburn who just work so well together. They synergize so well on the DPS role. Transcendence is going to come out, though. Rockets was not in the best of spots. Dueling Transcendences, though, as well. Zunko's going to use it. Here comes Shadowburn. Dragon Blade is out. Deflects pretty much every single shot laid his way, but it just will not be enough. All that time spent with the Dragon Blade was all on deflecting. Fact Fiction's going to be in the back. Bye-bye, my friend. Go for a, go for a little skydive there. They make the flip happen, Rogue. But one fight, FaZe will take it if Rogue isn't careful.
Yeah, but FaZe not close to, their Sound Barrier right now. You just saw them use a Transcendence. You saw them use a Dragon Blade as well. Now, Rogue, they just used their Transcendence, Primal Rage during that fight, and the Attack Visor. So they're going to have a Sound Barrier. They're going to have their Self-Destruct and a Pulse Bomb here. See,
Carpe halfway. They got to get on the point.
Rogue, you think they work their way back towards it. As you see, Soon just going to drop down, try and contest a little one-on-one Tracer battle here.
Gotta love the 1v1 Tracer fight. Carpe, he's going to have the slight upper hand, and that's going to have to prompt Soon to back away. He's going to make the flip happen, and now it's going to be an overtime. And FaZe, they're going to have the upper hand. They do manage to pick up the 2 kills. Bye-bye, Nox yet again. Oh, man, the Winston just really struggling on that one. And FaZe, they have this one in control. They get all the kills, and just Carpe. I mean, there wasn't just much that Rogue could do on that one, right? They had to worry about the players on the side of FaZe pushing up on the top side. Still, though, they have some kind of control here. No, that's going to do it. 2 points there for FaZe, giving them the W. But, man, Carpe, good job from him.
Well, Carpe gets to the point, right? And that forces Soon to come down. It's that 1v1 engagement they have. No, FaZe Clan, they do a nice job staying alive on that left-hand side. As soon as Soon falls, then Rogue, they have to basically turn their backs to FaZe Clan. They're forced to use their Sound Barrier, like, on the retreat. And then they just kind of get pinched inside of the point. They end up losing it, and FaZe Clan takes map number 1.
Yeah, that was a... it was looking good for Rogue, right? They were able to maintain some kind of control, but when the Tracer is able to just have free reign to do what they want to do, man, that definitely hurts there in the end. Rogue end up falling on control, and that will be FaZe going up 1-0. But when we come back, though, we're going to have game 2. Time to see where Rogue take it. It's going to be very interesting, and you're not going to want to miss it. So we'll catch you in just a few. Welcome back, everyone, as we get ready for our second matchup of the day, Game 2 between FaZe and Rogue. And the map, you see it right there.
Not a shock.
Not a shocker. It's going to be Numbani. That's why I said it was going to be interesting before the break. Because I like this map for Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rogue very strong on Numbani. I think going into this, though, you look at both of these teams, right? You would say Shadowburn versus Nico if you're looking at Genji's. Shadowburn with the clear advantage there. Carpe has been a beast on the Tracer. We go up against Soon. Soon, obviously, a very good Tracer in his own right. I think the one way that Rogue can kind of take advantage here is if you get AKM on that 76 on the high ground.
Yeah.
Just interested to see what they decide to play, because we have seen Rogue on Numbani, at least like in the first point before you unlock the payload. They've been running with AKM on the Sombra, Wins on a 76, and then Unco solo healing, usually with an Ana. So be interesting to see if Rogue is on defense, if they bring that strategy out.
They have a very specific plan that they like to run with that has worked out for them in the past. There's 2 maps that Rogue will typically.
Yeah, I like that word.
I like that word too. Just make stuff up. Typically come out on top, and that is Numbani and Watchpoint Gibraltar. These are 2 maps that they're very, very good at, or at least in Contenders Season 1.
It'll be FaZe, though. We talked a lot about Rogue's defense. It'll be FaZe, though, starting out on defense. Nothing too surprising here. I know Shadowburn on Genji, Carpe and Tracer. I mean, if you have both of these players on your team, I think you'd be crazy to make them do anything else. They're so good. And with this combo, and then you have Raucus. We know what, either Zenyatta or the Ana, he's going to be running Ana here.
Let's see, and okay, bye-bye, Carpe. All right, well, 20 seconds left to decide what they're going to do. Carpe may remain on the Tracer, which, you know, I mean, he's such a good Tracer. He's really, this season has been great for Carpe. It's been really fun to watch him play, man.
Yeah, and Rogue on offense, they'll have AKM on the 76, soon on Tracer, and Nico on Diva. So those are the really only ones you kind of put into question. Now, with this strong, flanker combination, with Shadowburn and Carpe, I'm interested to see what adjustments Rogue makes to protect, Wins and Unco. They cannot be dropping first.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to look for AKM to really work with Unco here, so that they can get like an early pick potentially on a diving tank, or and Nox already gonna try and establish control, but I think he was expecting to find some of the supports up there like Raucus and whatnot, but Raucus all the way back. Here comes Soon though. Just trying to whittle down the health, and it just gets end up sleep darted by Raucus. Nice job from them to be able to maintain control in the high ground. FaZe looking good on the defense thus far. You have AKM and the crew kind of hanging back here, but it's just going to be Shadowburn cutting through them like a hot knife in butter.
Well,
good work.
AKM is in the back, right? He's helping, Unco, wins as well, but you're relying on when you have him playing at that distance, right? You're relying on Nico, Nox, and Soon to make something happen up top. When they're not able to take anybody out, then they start to fall. Then the collapse just comes in onto AKM, Unco, and wins. You take them out. There's nothing they can do. It'll be Raucus using an early nano boost here on a fact fiction to push back Rogue.
This push being stalled out. X. They really have to figure something out. Soon wants to get behind enemy lines, and FaZe, they're reading this so well. They're not letting him get that opportunity to make the moves up behind the Atria building there, as you see. And there goes the dive again, forcing it back. AKM with the attack visor. See if he's going to opt to use it. I know he wants to wait for that Unco Transcendence, maybe give him a little bit more life as he pushes forward with it. Soon, if he could win this out against Carpe, could be big. But they end up losing 3 players there, and the stop effectively is pushed.
Well, I mean, push back. When do you use your tag visor? The other team has a sound barrier. You're on the low ground. There's a Diva as well. I mean, you can't get spree out
force
of mech.
Way through.
Yeah, but when? I mean, it's not really a great opportunity. You don't want to just burn a tac visor. I think now Rogue, they build up some ultimates here. You have the tac visor. You have both support ults. This is their opportunity to make something happen. Let's see if Soon can get behind enemy lines. The last 2 times, Rogue's tried to go up for the high ground. Raucus has slept Soon, and then the last time he actually slept Nox coming out top. So we'll see if they try and go for the high ground again here, Rogue. Soon can come on a flank, take out one of these supports.
Gonna wait for his blinks to come back before he pushes in. He can get super aggressive, push in with the pulse bomb, and force them back. Or he can get a nice pick there as well. Maybe take out the Diva before they get into the mech. No, drops the pulse bomb though. Will do significant damage to Spree. Here comes the Transcendence along with the attack visor. You said, at what point do you use it? And it seemed like Rogue said, hey, you got to use it now, right? There's no reason not to. There's a Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade, as a matter of fact, and Rogue are just going to force their way right through. But this is certainly a really messy fight on both sides as they're just trying to maintain control. Carpe is able to answer back, though. They're maintaining some kind of presence onto the point for the time being. They get the kills, and they force their way right through to the point.
Yeah, I don't think we are going to see FaZe Clan come back in contest here. It looks like they're going to give up the first point here to Rogue. As I know, Rogue goes all in on that fight, right? If you had Spree, he was still alive on his Baby Diva for a while. If he maybe gets back in mech, Joe Meister comes off the spawn, then maybe you see, Raucus and the rest of the guys coming around the corner. But as soon as Spree falls, Joe Meister just alone on the point as Lucio. That's when you see FaZe Clan decide to make some changes. They give it up. Raucus now will go off of Ana. He'll go over to Zenyatta.
Looking to keep themselves alive here. The dive comes in for FaZe. Nico protecting the back line, and at the very least he's doing that, right? He's protecting the back line. He's giving his teammates some kind of opening to work with. Has to get back into the mech there to keep them going. Nox doing a lot of damage as well, and his teammates are going to move in to sweep right through. And that was a good fight win for Rogue, and they progress this payload forward. They're probably going to get it around the bend here as well.
Well, I think you see there why they've been successful when you see Nico on the Diva. He goes back, uses the defense matrix to help the support stay alive. And I think, you know, that's what you miss when you have him on the Genji. You just don't have that, you know, peel back for the supports.
FaZe are going to look to contest this as it makes its way around the final corner in point 2. Now or never, as it is getting dangerously close, less than 4 meters, being able to get that cap. Meanwhile, you're going to have Soon waiting for the prime opportunity to drop the pulse bomb. Is going to do so. Doesn't get a kill with that one, though. Still, will give them an opportunity to get the pick onto Shadowburn as AKM and the crew fall back, look to re-engage. They are going to have support ults to work with here.
Yeah, and they have, you know, the attack visor as well. They're going to lead in with attack visor. They have Transcendence, and they have the sound barrier here as well. They use the attack visor.
Nice.
You get Joe Meister out of the equation. Spree there as well. Now you should see, okay, so FaZe Clan, they're going to invest their Transcendence here as well. Rogue is still held on to both of their support ults here. Try and put it away.
Yeah, I think Rogue knows that they would really like to be able to use this one. If they can get the point, that will give them just such an upper hand going into this next fight. And they don't use the support ults at all. They get the second point. Bravo to Rogue there, as now they have a lot to work with in this final phase.
And that's huge because you saw Raucus use the Transcendence. So now you have both your support ults to deal with Shadowburn's Dragon Blade.
Push Wookie.
You also have, you know, Joe Meister with his sound barrier. So maybe I think what you'll see FaZe Clan do is engage with the sound barrier plus the Dragon Blade. Rogue has both support ults to deal with it. You see them back up.
Oh man, he could have gotten Raucus on that one, and that could have prompted them to make the push happen. But they still get Fact Fiction though, X. Maybe they're gonna use this one to their advantage, as they do manage to take out the Diva as well. And this is just a great push for Rogue. They still haven't invested these support ults because they haven't needed to. They're saving this one. Despite that, though, FaZe will have some to work with going into this final stretch. And this is where things get a little dicey because they are going to have that spawner advantage. So Rogue, I mean, they know how to play this one out. They know how to play Numbani. This is a very good map for them.
And it looks like you keep seeing Rogue back up. They're expecting the Dragon Blade to come out. Now you see the sound barrier come out for the side of FaZe Clan as Joe Meister only connects with him and Spree. Now you're wondering, you know, when does this Dragon Blade come out from Shadowburn? I mean, you see they're able to just deal with this so well as Rogue is. Now Rogue has built up, you know, a ton of ultimates there. They use the Transcendence as soon as the sound barrier comes in. Here comes the Transcendence from FaZe Clan. The attack visor comes in from Rogue. You do have your own sound barrier here. You're still holding on to that, you know, waiting for Shadowburn to pop that Dragon Blade.
Very smart ult management from Rogue has given them just an upper hand in this fight. Spawns are going to start rolling out. There goes the Diva Bomb, and Nox wants to just keep pushing this payload, keep putting the pressure on them here. There goes the sound barrier. It's going to drop. The beat drops, and that will give them 3 points. And Rogue played that one so well.
You know, FaZe does put up a pretty decent defense. Only 46 seconds left on the clock there in the time bank for Rogue, but it was smart there. No good use of ultimates towards the end. They were waiting for Shadowburn. You know, they had one of their support ults up all the time, waiting for Shadowburn to use that Dragon Blade. He pops it, wins, uses the sound barrier. They're able to fight on through it, complete the map.
FaZe, though, with a good first point hold. I think they held them to around 40 seconds or so before Rogue were able to make that cap happen. So it was a relatively solid start there for FaZe. But Rogue, I mean, I said it once, I'll say it again. They just know how to play Numbani. This is a map that they have found success in time and time again.
So on defense last week, what we saw them do is they had AKM on the Sombra, and they had wins on 76. Seems like they're going to go with you know, wins on Lucio, Unco on Ana, just waiting for AKM, figure out what he wants to run here. So he'll run the Sombra. So the big difference between, you know, this week and last week is you will not have wins on the 76. He'll stay on Lucio.
All right. Interesting stuff here. Sombra could prove to be very disruptive for FaZe I have to deal with. On the other side, FaZe, they're running with a pretty standard comp. This is a team that doesn't really try and mix things up here. But Raucus on the Ana, though, could be a little interesting.
Well, I think what could work out for Rogue here, Alex, is that if you know, FaZe Clan, let's say their first push or two, you know, it doesn't work well for them, right? Then they know AKM has the EMP. It's going to force Joe Meister to really hold on and play smart with that sound barrier, right? Because you don't have the Transcendence if Raucus is going to play Ana, so you don't have that secondary big support ult that can just heal you through a lot of the damage.
Stall tactics for Rogue. You know, looking to just bait Joe to use the the sound barrier. We'll see if that comes to fruition, X, as you had said before. I mean, you know, it's a very high possibility. And look at that. I mean, already AKM harassing the back line here. And you have two heroes who are just so good at that with Sombra and Tracer. And soon, again, a great Tracer. Couldn't commend him enough, although this series has been a little tough on him, considering that Carpe has just been matching him, you know, every single time that they have. And FaZe, they push right into this one, as they do get high ground control. Nico's going to have to force back, but they do get the 2 kills on the supports. Losing out the Diva, one has to wonder if FaZe continues on with this aggression. Shadowburn, less than 30 health. He's going to get shut down there in turn. Carpe on the point. He could dance around this, stall it out, give his teammates that prime positioning if he decides to do it, but he's just going to have to go back here. And
he's going to back up.
Yeah, he needs to play that one back.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do alone there, as now Rogue will come back into this next fight. They'll have a pulse bomb. You're getting closer towards that EMP for AKM, as you know, nobody really close. I mean, Fact Fiction close to a Primal Rage. I guess Shadowburn, I know, and Carpe getting closer to there. So ults, but you see Carpe there takes out AKM at the beginning. So now you have no worries of the EMP if Joe Meister can build up towards, you know, that sound barrier, you know, towards the later end of this fight. Maybe you think about investing in it.
I think he was expecting the supports to push up there. That's why he threw the pulse bomb a little willy-nilly on that. But FaZe, they get 2 ticks. They're really close to being able to make the cap happen. There goes the nano boost onto the Winston. Nox putting a lot of pressure onto them, but the sound barrier is dropped. Joe Meister marches forward, and they're getting the kills. FaZe so close to being able to make this cap happen, X.
Yeah, and they actually take out AKM on the point as soon as the sound barrier comes down, as AKM has the EMP. So you don't get that EMP use there from Rogue. They'll probably, and most likely, would not have made a huge difference as nobody else there for Rogue on the point. So you do see Joe Meister invest the sound barrier towards the end of that fight, maybe not even needing it, but just wants to, you know, secure the point there for FaZe Clan. As now FaZe Clan, they have a ton of other ultimates, right? You have Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade. Raucus is built up towards another, you know, nano boost. Be interesting to see how Rogue adjusts here, as you know, maybe you see them, you know, if they do stick with this Sombra, you know, play around it a little bit more. Now they're going to have to get aggressive with this, you know, EMP, as you see the position that FaZe Clan is holding up top here. Carpe could potentially, you know, land a big pulse bomb, and he actually, so he does some damage there. And then he goes and grabs that health pack, so soon can't get back to it. You know, potentially be forced to use, you know, his rewind. Just camping the translocator here. The EMP comes in from AKM to start the next fight.
Immediately they get the kill onto Fact Fiction, and Rogue already followed up with a second as well. Pulse bomb is dropped, trying to even the odds there. It was, you know, dropped and eliminates wins, and Rogue, they're getting kills. They're pushing him back here. It's just going to be Spree on this point. Now his teammate is Winston. He's coming in for the support there, and they managed to just brawl this one out. Diva Bomb is going to drop, but Spree, not to be outdone, is going to send his forward as well, pushing everyone back, letting them get around the bend here. The fight continues to ensue. The Shadowburn used the Dragon Blade is the question. He won't have any support ults to give him that added sustainability when he dives in, but I think he's going to try and just hold on to it for the time being. Wait for the opportune moment to use this one. 1.33 meters left. They're so close.
That's what they were waiting for, I think. They were waiting for the sound barrier to come in from Wins. Then you see the Dragon Blade come out there. First Shadowburn. Deflect, you know, going right back in Unko's face, as it's going to be 2 kills for FaZe Clan. It'll be Nox using the Primal Rage, trying to stay alive, and there comes an EMP from AKM.
Yeah, they just don't get all that much return there from the Dragon Blade, and, you know, that Primal Rage, he's just going to force him to back away. But Fact Fiction immediately back into the action, getting 2 and getting that point there. So despite them not getting much with the Dragon Blade, it was a returning teammates into that fight that tipped the odds in their favor. And now as we get ready for last, they have 3 minutes, 47 seconds to work with, and quite a few ults online.
And Rogue has really, I mean, just the Transcendence right now. So if you look at FaZe Clan, they have a huge advantage in this fight, right? I mean, Raucus can use, you know, the nano boost on the Fact Fiction if they want to dive in deep. You have Joe Meister with that sound barrier as well. As you see, it's going to be the nano boost used here at the beginning of the fight for FaZe Clan. As, you know, Carpe trying to deal with Soon here. Is, you know, it's going to be Shadowburn coming back to help him, but be 2 kills going in favor of FaZe. It'll back Rogue out. So now Rogue going to be fighting, you know, off their back foot here, coming out of the spawn.
This isn't good. They got to engage right now. Rogue have to jump into the action. They're so close from being able to make the cap happen. 2.44 meters. Fact Fiction just knocking everyone back. Joe Meister's going to drop the beat, giving them the shields. And this is just looking very good here for FaZe as they get the kills. Here comes D.Va to try and contest and keep this one going, keep the defense living for Rogue, but that will do it. So much time given to FaZe here. 3 minutes and 3 seconds to work with now, X. And FaZe did one better on the Frenchman.
It's a great offense there for FaZe Clan. They got great usage of all of their ultimates there. The Sombra with the EMPs never really kind of paid off big time for Rogue. So you wonder if, when we see Rogue go on defense, it'll be Rogue on offense here now. We see when they go on defense again, if they stick with the Sombra play or not. FaZe Clan on defense here, sorry. They'll go with, the same thing they've been running, right? The only thing that you could have seen change is, Raucus, whether he runs Ana or Zen, he'll run Ana.
Yeah, FaZe, they don't throw different looks, but what they do play, they play it very well. A very critical map here for Rogue. Numbani, one that, I praised them quite a bit because of their play on this, and now they're in a position where 1 minute and they're down 2-0 in this series, in a series they cannot afford to lose if they want to stay in the playoff talk.
Well, with only a minute to go, too, FaZe Clan has to know, if they can get Carpe or Shadowburn, in the back line, and they can take out either Unco or Wins, there's not going to be a ton of time for Rogue to really get a good second push.
It plays back to what we were talking about before, right? Like the back line has suffered for Rogue.
So, you have one fight to work with. Maybe you try something different here, which it looks like Rogue will do. It'll be AKM on the Pharah, Unco on the Mercy. So, with no 76, no like McCree on the other side, I do like this quite a bit for Rogue.
Just depends if it gets scouted out early on. And then they can, act accordingly, bring Spree forward, give them a little bit more coverage with the defense matrix, keep them alive. Shadowburn gets an early pick there on Soon. Won't hurt too much, but they have to make a play happen. They have one fight to do it.
That's killer.
You think so?
Oh, without doubt.
Think they have to push?
Now Rogue has to wait, and they have no opportunity to get in, pick anybody off. Now you're really coming down to one fight, right? If Shadowburn comes up with another pick at the beginning of this, it's going to be a non-existent offense here from Rogue.
Yeah, well, there's exactly what I was saying before. Spree dropping up, or going up, apologies, and just putting the pressure onto AKM. 10 seconds remaining. Fact Fiction is going to be a little weak. He's going to need his teammates to keep him alive in this one, but they end up losing out on the tanks early on. Both the DPS going to be tucked away into the corner now. Onto the point they go, but they're getting the kills. Soon into the back line. Overtime, in effect. Can they take out the supports? Can Soon dive in there and eliminate him? The flanker roll, and FaZe, they're picking them off left, right, and center. And that is going to do it. X, I stand corrected. You are 100% right. Losing out on Soon early on in that fight. They just did not have the pressure into the back line. I just thought they were going to get a bit more aggressive with Pharah, but they had no chance to do so.
Well, even if Soon is alive, right, for that first initial attempt, like if they go in and they put down some damage, at least they're closer to ults, right?
Yeah.
And you get Unco closer to res. Let's say they die and they come back with 20 seconds left. At least maybe you have a res there, or maybe you get a pulse bomb. You get something to work with. When he dies at the beginning, that literally it eliminates any chance of building up ultimates for Rogue. It just stops their entire offense there.
Yeah, in that particular situation, right? The way I looked at it was they simply just had to go, right? They had no time. Yeah, you lost out on Soon. Yes, that, at first, I looked at it and it's like, okay, yes, this could impact them, but ultimately they need to go. And that is what I was hoping for from the Pharah Mercy. They just couldn't get that aggression in there. And you're right. Without the D.Va, or excuse me, without the Tracer just being a pain in the neck, draining some of that health there, it makes that push just so much harder.
I also think that's where you see them lose out on not having a Genji, right? Let's say for argument's sake, Soon falls, but you still have a Genji instead of, Pharah Mercy. You can still try and force them down from the high ground, and then let's say Soon comes right back, as Tracer gets back there pretty quick. Then maybe you're able to make kind of like a Frankenstein push out of that. You're able to at least get the Genji up to the high ground. Yeah. But the situation they were in with the Pharah Mercy, all AKM can really do is just kind of float around the corner, shoot down some rockets, but they're just going to get eaten up by the defense matrix. So you can't put any pressure or really, you send both your tanks up there, you're pretty much just sending them out there to die.
And you also saw as soon as AKM got around the corner, Spree just flew right up to him. Defense matrix out and just absorbing all that.
Very quick end to map number 2.
Oh boy, a map that Rogue desperately needs to win here. They do not want to go down 0-2 into the half. FaZe's turn to attack. Let's see what they do. You got your 2 DPS looking to push around the flank there, and the Winston's meeting them at the front door, as well as Nico, just trying to get that free poke. Continue to build up. Carpe backed up here for a second, as he's also trying to do the same thing, build up toward that pulse bomb. 54 health, so he's gonna go get that mega. And I like the you know, the chance there to shoot the shield that was right through the wall there to try and just bring down the health. They're going to be on the point here, and this is kind of shades of what we saw in Control earlier, where Carpe was able to get on to the point and force people to have to go back. FaZe, they're lining up the kills. Carpe will drop to Nico there as Spree. They get it. They clear them out. One player is going to drop in. It's going to be a last-ditch effort from Wims to keep them in this game, but it will not be enough. FaZe win out 4-3.
Yeah, and both teams give up their supports right at the beginning of that. So FaZe Clan, they dive in deep onto the backline of Rogue. Rogue, instead of going back, they end up just going deep onto the backline of FaZe Clan. And you know, both supports fall for either side, but at that moment, FaZe is like, okay, well, we have 4 players going back towards the point. They only had, you know, 3 at that remaining time. So FaZe able to win out in those trades, end up taking map number 2.
You let Carpe build some progress onto the point, and that's when things just start to get very frantic for Rogue. And FaZe will win 2-0, and Rogue's playoff chances are looking very slim. It's fact fiction. He just tumbled his way right through everyone there. Oh boy, this series, I mean, you know, the Des did call for FaZe to win this one out. I'm just shocked that they lost on Numbani. They are a strong team on Numbani.
Yeah, it's just, you know, on defense, they were just not strong enough, right? I mean, FaZe with a tremendous offensive push, you know, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in their time bank. And then right there, it was really just one push that FaZe needed to do to take that map.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it 2-0. The Desk is going to break this down on the other side. Don't go anywhere as this matchup continues.